everyone, to the What's New session. You heard about our Apps SDK v2 and the recent launch of our Connect API in the keynote. Well, now we're here to tell you all the details of the new features and how you can get started. My name's Elena. I'm the product lead for the Apps SDK, and I'm joined by Anto. So we launched Apps SDK at Extend last year, but we knew we were only 1% of the way there to our long-term vision for apps in Canva. We've built a massive set of new features over the past year, and we'll tell you all about these today. When we launched the Apps SDK, we had APIs to add text, images, audio, and video to designs. But we had no ability to read or edit the content already on the design. We already knew we wanted to enable these use cases though. So we started with photo editing apps. We launched Selection API in December last year. This enabled apps to read and edit photos selected by the user, and then we added video and rich text support over time. This is now one of our most popular APIs, with photo editing apps in particular quickly becoming one of our top app categories.
That's right, Elena. In fact, there are already plenty of apps on our marketplace today that make use of this feature to do anything from upscaling blurry images into converting them to speed painting animations. We've since launched our Image Overlay API, which allows apps to render content directly in the design on top of images. Users can now interact with your app either via the main app running in the Apps tab or the image overlay running in the design. Communication between these two parts of the apps is managed by our brand new App Process API, which will manage communication by allowing the two parts to send messages back and forth. This will enable live interactive editing directly on the design, with effects like brushes and lighting sources now being possible. This will make photo editing apps even more compelling for our developer community to build.
Amazing. So we've covered photo editing, which we launched APIs for earlier this year. And today, as you heard in the keynote, we're launching APIs that enable apps to read even more content, starting with APIs for text editing apps. With our new Content Query API, you can read and modify all content of a specific type on a page, initially text content. This opens up new possibilities for real-time content customization and enables apps to read, refine, and update elements containing text. This also builds in APIs for fonts and rich text that we launched earlier this year. Content Query is super simple to use. All you do is iterate through all the elements on the page that contain text, make any changes you want, and sync your changes back to the design.
Here at Canva, we believe in consuming our own products. And for us over at Canva developers, this means using our own APIs to make sure what we're building is fit for use. So, prior to launching this Content Query API, our team got together and held a mini internal hackathon in order to test it out before its release. Let's have a look at some of the apps that our team built. Our first app was a code formatting app that converts boring plain text code snippets into colorful and formatted blocks that are available in various themes and languages. Another app would autofill party invitation templates with AI based on text from your event. I'm personally very excited to see our developer community build SEO assistant or AI writing assistant apps. I think our Canva users would really love those.
I love a hackathon. It shows just how easy it is to build apps with this new API. We've also launched the Tables API. This enables apps to add tables with content to a design. And better yet, Content Query API can read and modify the text within tables. Going beyond text and photo editing apps, we've also just launched today our new Design Editing API. This enables apps to read the dimensions and positioning of all elements on the design, enabling apps to arrange elements in relative position to each other. This opens up the future of AI-driven design, enabling apps to edit and transform content. Imagine AI refining and enhancing your designs with just a few commands, bringing creativity and automation together in a thrilling new way. The way this works is very similar to the JavaScript DOM API. You can read all elements on the page, including all of their properties, and you can also read contents of supported elements, such as images, video, and rich text.
The distinction between these two APIs is that the design editing API gives you access to the positioning, size, and orientation of all simple elements on a design, which is super important for AI design editing use cases. However, it doesn't yet support contents of complex elements, such as shapes or tables with text. The Content Query API, on the other hand, is specifically designed for text editing use cases and will enable you to read all text on the design, including those in complex elements such as tables and shapes. These APIs address some of the most highly requested features ever since we launched our Apps SDK last year. So we are super excited to bring these APIs to you as part of our public beta release.
As we've built more APIs for design editing use cases, we've also been enabling new UI entry points for apps throughout Canva. Users don't always think of going to the Apps tab when they have a problem that can be solved with an app. So we've been working on bringing apps into their workflow, giving them access to the right app when and where they need it most. As you heard in the keynote, we've launched apps in the photo editing panel and in the text tab. This brings our growing library of photo editing apps and text effects apps to reach many more users. And today, we've just launched apps in Docs. Canva is not just used for social media tiles and presentations. As you heard from Cam, we've got a complete visual work suite, including docs, whiteboards, and websites. Up to now, apps have been available in every design type except docs. This is because some APIs work differently in docs because of its unique layout. Today, we're giving developers the ability to change your apps based on the APIs available. For users, this means users can now access their favourite apps in Canva Docs. And for all of you as developers, it means you get to expand your audience by building apps that can behave differently in different design types. And better yet, nearly 200 apps have already been enabled automatically in Canva Docs, without you having to do a thing to enable that.
If your app was one of the few that wasn't auto-enabled, this means you're using some of the APIs that behave differently in Docs, such as apps that use page backgrounds, audio, or shapes. So, to ensure that your app is Docs compatible, you will need to use our latest Feature Inspection API to check out which features are available in the current design prior to using them. Let's take a look at a little case study. We've got an app here on the left that generates beautiful patterns as page backgrounds, such as this lovely pizza page background. This will work perfectly in all Canva designs except Docs, given we can immediately add this as a page background, such as this presentation over here. However, on Docs, you will have to adapt your app to be Docs compatible. One thing this app can do is instead of adding it as a page background, you can add it as a simple inline image, which means your app is now compatible both in Docs and all other Canva design types.
We've also made improvements to various existing APIs and features. First of all, we've created a new color selector API, which lets apps access brand kit and document colors. This API is super easy to use. All you need to do is launch the color selector flyout, and all of the complexity of handling multiple brand kits, brand restrictions in folders, etc., is all handled for you. Your users just see a color selector which includes both the default colors and whatever brand kit colors they have available in that design, as well as document colors. This is now in use by quite a few apps, including Color Harmony, Type Gradient, and Type Extrude. If your app uses colors, take a look at the new color selector API and add it to your app today. And we've got even more improvements to our APIs to make them super easy to use for developers, haven't we, Anto?
We absolutely do. So let's start with our updated authorization API. We are now making it more secure and easier to implement than ever. We're doing so by making it easier for apps to implement OAuth. We've heard from you that implementing authorization tends to be one of the more challenging and time-consuming parts of building an app. So, for services that already support OAuth, this process will now become a breeze. All you need to do is copy and paste your authorization URLs into our developer portal, and we'll take it from there and handle all the complexities for you. There is no longer a need to build custom backends. You can use common identity providers like Google or Auth0, and in just a few lines of code, you've got Auth set up in your app. Let's now talk a little bit about app runtime and a major improvement that we've made in this space. We are now making it possible for users to run multiple apps at once. We're doing so by allowing users to navigate away from your app without it losing its app state. The way this works is by putting your app in a suspended state rather than closing it upon navigation. And the best part about this is that neither you or our users have to do a thing. It's already enabled and rolled out to 100% of apps on our marketplace. This is particularly exciting for our generative AI apps that tend to have long-running tasks. So users will now be able to move to another tab and continue editing their design, even using a second or third app while your AI is doing its thing. Then once it's all done, they'll come back to your app and see the finished product. We'll be improving this process even more in the coming months by introducing a toast notification API such that you can let the users know as soon as you're done processing.
The Apps SDK has evolved dramatically since we launched this last year, so that's why we've combined many of these new features into Apps SDK v2. So, how do you get access to Apps SDK v2? Well, you can download the latest packages from NPM, or if you originally built your app by forking the starter kit, all you need to do is merge the latest version to get all the changes. We look forward to seeing the apps you build with these new features, and we hope to see many of you check out Apps SDK v2 in the very near future. Enough of new APIs. Let's talk developer experience for all the developers in the room. Anto, what's changed? Do you have any product updates for us?
I do have a few product updates for our developers. Last year at Canva Extend, we announced the launch of our Canva Developers program and showed you how easy it was to get started by creating an app in minutes. This year, we're introducing a whole new suite of tools and features to help you get your released apps available to more users and your draft apps closer to the finish line, all while ensuring you have a delightful experience throughout your journey. So just as you thought that getting started with the Apps SDK couldn't get any easier, we've introduced and launched the Canva command line interface, or the Canva CLI for short. The CLI will enable you to create an app with a single command without ever having to leave the comfort of your development environment. And as developers, our dev environments is somewhere that we spend a lot of time in. So keeping everything confined in that space will make us more productive, efficient, and focused. Our apps create command will start off by asking you to select a template, and then whether you want your app to be publicly available or just for your team. From there, we need an app name. Once you've come up with an app name, our CLI will do the heavy lifting and create the app for you. At this point, all you have to do is run our start command, and your app is up and running, at which point you can preview it right inside the Canva editor. But that's not all. We've even included some handy development tips as part of our Canva tip command. And we've even got theming support. So if you've got your terminal in light mode, we've got you covered, even though I don't know why you'd do that.
But wait, it gets even better with app templates. One of the reasons why our users love Canva so much is our vast library of design templates. So we thought, why not extend that to our developers platform? And the CLI does just that. It lets you use a template as the starting point for your app. These templates are thoroughly reviewed and professionally designed to help you bootstrap your development process and take some of the design work out of building apps.
Our initial set of templates includes a generative AI app template. With this being one of our most popular app categories, we've introduced this template to encompass all the key patterns and best practices for this app type. So if you've already got your AI model ready, this template is all you should need to bring your app on Canva in no time. We also have a digital asset management template. This comprehensive template is all you should need to bring your content in front of our 190 million users. But that's not all. We're always working on new improvements, so please keep an eye out for more templates coming soon, starting with our photo editing and text effects app templates, powered by the APIs announced by Elena earlier.
Last year, we also launched the Canva Apps UI Kit. This is a component library designed to help your apps feel native to Canva and create an experience that's on par with the rest of the Canva product. Over the past year, we've launched dozens of new components, as well as new features for existing components, to help you support the ever more powerful apps that we see all of you building today. For example, we've launched the Masonry component that helps you organize your content and implement infinite scroll. We've also launched the Tabs component to help you structure your UI and make better use of the Apps tab. And we've launched the Flyout component to help you implement search, filtering, and pop-ups within your app. These UI Kit components help you to support your users however they want to use your app, whether that's in light mode or dark mode, mobile or desktop. Using the Canva UI Kit components helps you to reduce time spent in the app review process and creates a better user experience for your users. Now back to Anto for a couple of final big launches in the developer experience space.
So as you heard in the keynote, did you know that the majority of Canva's users use Canva in a non-English language? Well, that number is 59% to be exact. So, to make your app more accessible to the millions of non-English speaking Canva users, we are launching the Canva Apps Localization Kit. We are going to translate your app to key locales for you to support our biggest non-English speaking markets and increase the exposure and engagement of your apps. To do so, we are providing you with an easy to integrate localization kit, a streamlined process to continuously translate every single version of your app to key locales, as well as all the other tools that you need to ensure that you can build apps for all Canva users, not just some. Okay, now for a little announcement for all the developers in the room who already have a published app on our marketplace. When we first launched last year, there was no way for you to get insights or data about the performance of your app. Well, we've heard your feedback, and as a result, not so long ago, we introduced our Apps Analytic Dashboard. This will give you the ability to monitor the performance and engagement of your app on our marketplace.
That's all on the Apps SDK. Now I'll invite Lucille up on stage to tell you about what's new in Connect API.
Thanks, Elena. Hi, I'm Lucille. I'm an engineering manager working on empowering our partners to efficiently build great apps and integrations on Canva. On June 18 this year, we were thrilled to launch the Canva Connect API. Connect is our public REST API that lets you seamlessly integrate your platform with Canva, bringing the Canva experience beyond its native environment. Today's announcement marks an exciting milestone on our journey to empower creativity and productivity for everyone.
Our Connect APIs are powered by industry standard OAuth 2, with its fine-grained scopes that gives both your users and the team admins full control and visibility over the integrations that can access your Canva account. In addition to that, you will be able to revoke this access to any integration at any time for any reason. So to help you get started with these Connect APIs just as easily, we have built an API Explorer. Funnily enough, we built it using the Connect API itself. This will bring interactivity to our docs where you can test out our APIs in real time as you're reading about them in our documentation pages. I don't know about you, Lucille, but as a developer, I can confirm that reading docs is one of my least favorite things to do.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I hope everyone appreciates this feature as much as we do. So now it's time to dive into our Connect APIs with Lucille.
Firstly, managing your creative asset is no breeze. With our assets, design, export, folders, and import APIs. Say goodbye to manual upload and download because you can now live sync your content between Canva and your platform to keep everything up to date. Let's dive into each of them to see how they work. First up is the Asset API. It makes it easy to ensure that all your images are always current and easily accessible for all your design. Next, we have the Designs API. With this API, you can easily access all your design from anywhere, so that you can easily streamline your publishing workflows without switching windows. With the Export API, you can download your design directly to your platform, with plenty of file format options to suit your needs. Next, we have the Folder API, and I'm really happy to announce that this API that was in preview before is now generally available for all your integrations. With all the content being uploaded to and created in Canva, it's important that you stay organized. Now you can optimize your file management with the Folder API, so that no matter where you are, you can always find where your sales pitch presentation, your annual revenue report, or your team whiteboard is for your next meeting. Our Design Import API means that you can also upload any file type, like slides or PDF, directly to your Canva account. They will be automatically converted right into Canva Design, ready for you to make those improvements or last-minute tweaks. This API is also now generally available, so let's go and you can use it.
Collaboration just got easier and more centralized as well with the Connect APIs, specifically with our webhook notifications and Comments API, where you can now set up your integration to receive real-time notifications from Canva, where you'll even be able to respond back to them. This will ensure that your teammates can work better together than ever before. We have webhook events for when your teammate leaves a comments for you on a design, requests access or approval, or invites you to collaborate on a new design, folder, or even a team. Whatever platform you're working on or working from, Canva can now come to you. In addition to being notified, you'll be able to contribute back to the design process by creating or replying to comments using the Comments API. This will ensure that everyone on your team stays on the same page and can contribute their best work. But that's not all the APIs.
Yeah, we haven't talked about everything yet. We also have the autofill and brand template API. With them, you can populate text, images, and even visual representation of your data set into Canva brand templates. It means that you can create entire design just in a single click. Whether you're crafting stunning marketing assets from data sources like real estate, or creating annual revenue report filled with beautiful charts, you can start smashing your team's manual design time today. By simplifying your design process, you can focus more on creativity and less on manual tasks.
Having said all this, we do understand that building real-world useful integrations can be a little bit tricky at times. So, to help you get started with our Data Autofill API, one of our most powerful and in-demand APIs, we have built and open-sourced a custom integration, specifically an online health food store. This integration and the code for it will show you how you can leverage this powerful API by showing you how you can sync resources between your platform and Canva, how you can implement OAuth in a secure fashion, following all the latest best practices, as well as how to bulk generate and autofill Canva brand templates with data from your platform. But more importantly, this will show you how to compose various APIs together to build a single powerful integration. But that's enough talking. I can show you better than I can tell you, so let's have a look at a quick demo. So the online food store, let's just say they're having a marketing event where they need to create sale material. The marketing team can go and select different data about their products and then use the Data Autofill API to select their pre-made Canva brand templates that are available in various sizes. From there, all they have to do is click a single button and we'll handle all the magic for you. and generate these beautiful assets in various sizes. From there, you can publish those to wherever your campaign is. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually really great to have some open source code to easily get started. Thanks, Anto.
And in addition to that, some of our partners like Workato, Zapier, and Make have already integrated our Connect APIs into their products. So it's actually entirely possible for you to build powerful integrations and automations without having to write much code yourself.
Connect API opens up a world of possibilities, making it easier than ever to create, collaborate, and manage your designs.
So that was an overview of our Connect APIs and our developer tools. But we are constantly working on evolving our SDK to make your lives as Canva developers easier. So please stay tuned for more announcements in the coming months. I will now invite Elena back on stage to help us summarize what's new with the Apps SDK.
Thanks, Anto. Apps SDK v2 brings a range of powerful new capabilities, making it easier than ever for developers to join us on our mission of empowering the world to design. Over the past year, we've launched new APIs to support photo editing apps, text editing apps, and design editing apps. We've also launched apps in new UI entry points, such as apps in the photo editing panel and apps in the text tab, and we've just launched today apps in Docs. We've launched a new color selector API, giving apps access to brand kit and document colors. We've made it easier for apps to implement OAuth, and we've enabled multiple apps to run at once.
And on the developer experience side of things, our brand new Canva CLI will enable you to create an app directly in your dev environment, leveraging our brand new app templates and our expanded set of UI kit components to help you build even smoother app experiences. On top of that, our localization kit will enable you to reach a truly global audience by translating your apps for you. Finally, with our app analytics, you'll be able to monitor how your app is performing on our marketplace. These are only the first of many steps that we are taking to ensure that your journey is as smooth as possible while you're building on our platform.
With Connect API, we are empowering developers to easily integrate their platform with Canva. This means that we're enabling a more personalized and collaborative design workflows. We have released APIs to help you manage your assets and keep you organized. We made it easier to collaborate and faster than ever to create designs. All of this while keeping all your integrations secured. And for the icing on the cake, everything is available with a smooth developer experience to help you along the way. We hope that you are as excited as we are with everything that is new on the Apps SDK and Connect API. So yeah, let's transform the way we work together. Thank you.